So good morning. Let's start the topic. Daily current affairs discussion. The first topic is on disaster management. Landslide Atlas of India. Okay. In 2022, heavy rain, flood, and landslide claimed 835 lives in the country. According to the Statement of Climate of India 2022 released by the Indian Meteorological Department, IMD report on Climate of India 2022 report revealed that around 835 persons were killed due to heavy rain, floods, and landslide in the country. With steady rise in the number of extreme weather events, especially heavy rainfall capable of triggering landslides and floods, the Indian Space Research Organization recently released the Landslide Atlas of India, a detailed guide identifying landslides hotspots in the country. Okay, which are the landslide hotspots of India? What causes landslides? Landslides are natural disasters occurring mainly in mountainous terrain where there are conducive condition of soil, rock, geology and slope. A sudden movement of rock, boulders, earth or debris down a slope is termed as a landslide. Natural causes that trigger it includes heavy rainfall, earthquakes, snow melting and undercutting of slopes due to flooding. Landslide can also be caused by anthropogenic activities such as excavation, cutting of hills and trees, excessive infrastructure development and overgrazing by cattle. Fine. So these can be the causes of landslides as per the known among the known causes. So excavation, so such as anthropogenic activities, excavation, cutting of hills and trees, excessive infrastructure development, overgrazing by cattle can be the major causes of landslide in the country. Fine. Consider among the most frequent natural disasters, landslides are extremely hazardous, posing a threat to human and animal lives, damaging property, roads and bridges, disrupting communication lines and snapping power lines. Fine. Some of the main factors that influence landslides are lithology, geological structures like faults, hill slopes, drainage, geomorphology, land use and land cover, soil texture and depth, and weathering of rocks. All these are factored in when a landslide susceptibility zone is earmarked for planning and making predictions. Fine. So this is the major causes and impact of landslides. Fine. So see landslides prone areas. Landslide invented 1992. So the area where landslide normally northeastern states. So upper Himalayan region, this sides western Ghats. These are the major prone area to landslide. Not the these areas that there is very slight landslide, no landslide, but these are the major area because of the geographical terrain. So they are more prone to landslide. In India, rainfall induced landslide event are more common. Source: the Landslide Limit of India, Landslide Atlas of India, and ISRO. How are landslides classified and mapped? Landslide broadly classified based on type of material involved: rock, debris, soil, loose mounds. Types of materials. Okay, types of movement of the materials: fall, topple, slide, rotational slides, or translational slides. Type of flow of the material. Another category is of landslides that spread laterally. Landslides mapped in the ISRO Atlas are mainly event-based and season-based. ISRO National Remote Sensing Center, Hyderabad, has created a database of landslides prone regions of India based on events during 1998 to 2022, primarily along the Himalayas and the Western Ghats. In addition to aerial images, high-resolution satellite image captured using camera, India Remote Sensing PAN plus list 3 satellite resources SAT 1 and 2 etc. were used to study the landslides over the past 25 years. The Pan-India Landslide Database classifies landslides into seasonal, event-based, route-based. Fine. Three different ways classified. Okay, one each. The seasonal in the monsoon, event based, some specific events are route based. Landslide hotspots area in India. Okay, how prone is India to landslides? India is considered among the top 5 landslide prone countries globally. So this is very very important. So India has been classified as top 5 landslide prone country globally, where at least one death per 100 square kilometer is reported in a year due to landslide events. One death per 100 square kilometer. Rainfall variability pattern is the single biggest cause of landslide in the country, with the Himalaya and the Western Ghat remaining highly vulnerable to landslides. Fine. So these are the area which are more prone to landslide. Fine. The Himalayas and the Western Ghat remain the highly vulnerable landslide prone area in the country. Excluding snow covered areas, approximately 12.6% of the country's geographical land area is prone to landslide. As many as 66.5% of the landslides are reported from northwestern Himalayas, about 18.8% from the northeastern Himalayas, and about 14.7% from the western Ghats. So that means northwest Himalaya. So report 66.5% landslides in the country, followed by northeast Himalayas and then the western Ghats. That means these three areas are more prone to landslide in India. Right? State. Okay. Mizoram total number of landslides. Okay. See highest Uttarakhand, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, Kerala, Manipur, Maharashtra, Meghalaya, Assam, okay, Nagaland, okay, then Sikkim, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Haryana, Ladakh, Goa, and total 80,933 events of landslide have been reported. Okay, nearly half the country's landslide prone areas located in the state of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Meghalaya, Meghalaya, କ୍ଲାସରେ ବସିଯାଇଛି ଫ୍ରି ହେଇନି ଜମା ମୁଁ ନାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ପରେ କଲ୍ କରିବି ହେଲା ଫ୍ରି ହେଇନି କଲ୍ ମୁଁ ଏବେ ଏବେ ମୁଁ ଅନଲାଇନ୍ କ୍ଲାସରେ ଅଛି କଲ୍ କରୁଛି। Okay, so nearly half of the country's landslide prone areas is located in the state of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura, and Nagaland. Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir cover 0.14 million square kilometers, the total landslide prone areas, whereas Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu accounts for 0.09 million square kilometers. A relatively small area of 0.01 million square kilometer of the Araku region in Andhra Pradesh, Araku Valley, okay, along with Eastern Ghats to report landslide events. The Western Ghats, despite fewer events, landslides are found to be making inhabitants significantly vulnerable to fatality, especially in Kerala. Okay, Kerala is also susceptible to landslide events. Okay, although its magnitude is comparatively less in comparison to other areas. What are the landslide atlas suggests? Uttarakhand, Kerala, Jammu Kashmir, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland, and Arunachal Pradesh reported the highest number of landslides during 1990 to 2022. Mizoram topped the list, recording 12,385 landslides events in the past 25 years, of which 8,926 recorded in 2017 alone. Likewise, 2071 events of the total 2,132 landslide report in Nagaland during this period occurred during the 2017 monsoon season. Manipur too showed a similar trend, wherein 4,559 out of the 4,400 okay so are experienced during the same period. Okay, so during the monsoon period, so this all project that during the monsoon period landslide events are more than in any other period. Among all these states, an alarming situation is emerging from Uttarakhand and Kerala. Fine. Because you know Uttarakhand is more susceptible to landslides in the recent past. Okay, so there is massive landslides and landslide related disasters has been reported in Uttarakhand and so also in Kerala. Top 30 districts based on exposure to landslides. Uttarakhand's fragility was recently exposed during the land subsidence event reported from the Joshimath since January 2023. This Himalayan state has experienced the second highest number of landslides since 1998, all events since occurring post 2000. The year-wise number of landslides event in the state is 2003 32, 2010 307, 2012 473, 2013 610, 2017 1, 2022, so it is more than 3000, and 2022 1. The number of districts with the maximum landslide exposure: Andhra Pradesh, Kerala 14, Andhra Pradesh 16, Kerala 14, Uttarakhand, Jammu Kashmir 13 each, Himachal Pradesh, Assam, Maharashtra, Mizoram 8, Nagaland 7. Kerala has been consistently reporting massive landslides since it suffered the OAS flood in 2018. The year-wise landslide event here are 2018 1191, 2019 757, 2029 and 2021 29. For the event and images obtained, the NRSC National Remote Sensing Center ranked Rudraprayag, Uttarakhand at the top of the 147 autonomous districts. Okay. Okay, so the number of districts which maximum landslide exposure at Andhra Pradesh, then Kerala, Uttarakhand, Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Assam, Maharashtra, Mizoram, Nagaland. Kerala has been consistently reporting massive landslides since it suffered the country's worst flood in 2018. In the event and image obtained, the National Remote Sensing Center ranked Rudraprayag in Uttarakhand at the top of the 147 Parliament districts. They are the highest landslide density in the country, along with having the highest exposure to total population and number of houses. See the district-wise district ranking. Rudraprayag at the top, followed by Tehri Garhwal Uttarakhand, then the Thrissur in Kerala, Rajouri Jammu Kashmir, Palakkad Kerala, Punch Jammu Kashmir, Malappuram Kerala, South District Sikkim, East District Sikkim, Kozhikode Kerala, Imphal West Manipur, Kodagu Karnataka, Wayand Kerala, Jammu Kashmir, Ernakulam Kerala. Okay. Then Mandi in Madhya Pradesh, Udhampur Jammu Kashmir, Idukki in Kerala, Chambol in Uttarakhand, West District Sikkim, Uttarkasi in Uttarakhand, Chachar in Assam, Garhwal in Uttarakhand, Kottayam in Kerala, Hamirpur in Madhya Pradesh, Kannur in Kerala, Pulwama Jammu Kashmir, Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, Dehradun Uttarakhand, and Bilaspur in Madhya Pradesh. So these are the most 30 most landslide occurring area in the country. Okay, so the next topic is about the new virus called the H3N2. India has recorded the death of two people, one each in Karnataka and Haryana, due to the influenza A subtype N3S2 virus. It added that around 90 cases of this virus have been reported across the country. The statement by the authority has come just days after the Indian Council of Medical Research announced that the recent uptick in the cases of intense cough lasting for over a week, coupled with fever in several parts of India, can be linked to the influenza A subtype H3N2 virus. But this H3N2 virus, influenza virus, which causes the infectious disease known as the flu, are of four different types A, B, C, and D. Influenza A is further classified into different subtypes, and one of them is the NH3N2. According to the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, okay, H3N2 caused the 1968 flu pandemic that led to the death of around 1 million people globally and put 1 lakh in the and about 1 lakh only in USA. Fine. In 2020 study published in the journal Nature Communications found that the strain of the virus has dramatically evolved in the past 5 decades as people born in the late 1960 and 70 got infected by it as children. What are the symptoms of H3N2? Its symptoms are similar to that of any other flu. They include cough, fever, body ache and headache, sore throat and runny and stiffy nose and extreme fatigue. Nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea have been seen in very few cases. According to the Indian Medical Association, an infection caused by S3N2 generally lasts for 5 to 7 days and the fever starts going away after 3 days. However, the coughing can persist of up to 3 weeks. Which age group is more vulnerable? As per the IMA, this virus usually prey on individuals below the age of 15 years or above 50 years of age, children and those with comorbidity like asthma, diabetes, heart disease, weakened immune system and neurological and neurodevelopmental conditions are at a higher risk of being infected by this special strain called the H3N2. How to prevent from spreading? Self-hygiene. The best way to thwart the spread of H3N2. Washing hands before eating or touching face, nose or mouth. Carrying pocket sanitizer and avoiding people already infected with virus or any other seasonal flu are some of the steps one can take to make sure they will not fall sick due to the H3N2 virus. Fine. Self-hygiene is the best way to thwart the spread of H3N2. Washing hands before eating and touching face, nose or mouth, carrying pocket sanitizer and avoiding people already infected with the virus of any seasonal flu are some of the steps one can take to make sure they won't fall sick due to the N3 N2 infection. Moreover, healthy diet that includes plenty of fruits and vegetables can also play a significant role in improving immunity. The doctor added that drinking a lot of fluids and eating home cooked, low spicy and low fat food can also help in controlling this to some extent. Fine. Then the next is a topic. Okay. The next topic is topic in the space segment control re-entry. Okay, so the ISRO or Indian Space Organization brought down a satellite in a controlled manner after its end of life for the first time recently. The weather satellite Megatropy Q1, which was developed up as a joint mission by India and France Space Agency, entered the atmosphere after the final two maneuvers on Tuesday and burned up over the Pacific Ocean. How was the satellite brought down? The Megatropy Q satellite was launched above the PSLV brought by a PSLV by the Space Agency in 2011. And although the planned mission life of the satellite was only for 3 years, it continued providing data on water cycle and energy exchange in the tropics for nearly a decade. With over 120 kg of fuel remaining in the satellite even after being decommissioned, the Space Agency determined that there is enough to attempt controlled re-entry, where a series of 20 maneuvers over 8 months lowered the orbital satellite so that it re-entered the dense atmosphere and burned up. thereby removing the debris from the space. This was the first time that the space agency attempted such a maneuver to clear out space debris, despite the satellite not being built to do so. The re-entry was not really planned as part of the mission. The fuel left, so ISRO attempted it. Usually, satellites are left in their orbit, and because of the gravitational pull of the Earth, they come down to the atmosphere over years and years. When the satellite re-enter the atmosphere, the friction causes it to heat up to extreme temperature thousands of degrees Celsius. Without a heat shield, 99% of satellites get burnt up, whether in a controlled re-entry or uncontrolled re-entry phenomena. Okay, so other than extra fuel conveniently remaining in the satellite after the mission life ends, ISRO attempted to control re-entry to demonstrate and understand the process of doing so. With several space faring nations and private entity launching satellite, mostly low Earth orbit, it has become imperative to keep the space clean. Fine. There is a big issue with the global community to keep the space clean. Fine. Okay, so with several space hiring nations and private sector, because right now private sectors also coming to the space from America to India. So many private entities that enter into space, the space is being overburdened, okay, overcrowded, and this re-entry is the better option right now to make the space free from the debris. Fine. Okay. Uh, so this was first time. Okay, so attempt was made. The re-entry was not really planned as part of the mission. There was fuel left, so ISRO attempted it. With several space-faring stations and private agency entering, there is being overburdened. There were thousands of objectives flying around in these orbits, not just old satellite and their parts, but also last stage of the rocket that take them there, moving at extremely high speed. The smallest debris can destroy active satellites because they are called the space debris, which has emerged as a big threat to the new satellites as gas collision triggering another. This is the region the space debris are monitored and sometimes satellites have to be moved from their way. ISRO carried out 21 such collision course maneuver in 2022. In fact, the Space Agency has set up a department in 2022 to monitor the space debris and mitigate the risk posed by them. The Space Agency is also following the guidelines of UN and the Interagency Space Debris Coordination Committee that says satellites should be deorbited after the mission life, either through controlled re-entry over a safe impact zone, as was done by ISRO with Megatropy Q1, or by bringing it down to reduce the orbital lifetime, the time it would take for satellite to drop from a particular orbit by itself to less than 25 years. It is also recommended that in such case, stored fuel be removed from the spacecraft to ensure that there is no accident that broken of the satellite in the space and create more debris. In the case of Megatropy Q1, the orbit of 867 km with 20 such degree inclination meant an orbital lifetime over 100 years, and there was over 120 kg of fuel left over in the spacecraft. So normally it might have taken more than 100 years to come from its own orbit. So these 20 maneuvers was reduced the orbital level for which it entered into the atmosphere and was burnt in the space due to the extreme heat generated the friction. Right? What happens to satellite usually? A controlled re-entry like the one attempted by ISRO earlier this week is possible only for satellite in the low Earth orbit. at about 1,000 km over the surface of the Earth. These maneuvers, however, are not usually attempted because fuel reserves have to be maintained in the satellite after mission life is over. And this is impossible for satellite placed in geostationary or geosynchronous orbit, where time taken by the satellite to orbit the Earth matches Earth rotation. Because they are at altitude of nearly 36,000 kilometers. For attempting to bring down a satellite from such an orbit, a huge fuel reserve would be needed. This will only make the satellite heavier and costlier at launch, because from 36,000 kilometers in the altitude to bring it to the atmosphere for its re-entry needs huge quantity of fuel while the satellite to be launched to be kept in itself, and that might increase the cost of the satellite to a considerable extent. In higher orbit, satellites are usually moved to what is known as the graveyard orbit. Instead of bringing them down, they are shoot upward at the end of life. These orbits are like parking lot in space where all old satellites are put in. Sometimes a satellite might escape to deep space as well. So above their orbit, satellite are normally pushed so that they are like a parking lot of the dead satellites, and no new satellite is placed there, so it makes that set like a parking lot for the outdated or that satellite whose span of life is over. Fine. A satellite escapes to deep space when its velocity increases enough to get away from the gravitational pull of the Earth. Have ISRO satellite rain debris in the past? Almost 99.9% of the satellite burned up in the atmosphere. The satellite in low Earth orbit, usually smaller than, hence more likely to disintegrate completely when they enter the atmosphere. In addition, the official from ISRO said the space agency usually uses aluminum and composite to make the satellite. These materials have a lower burning point and are much easily destroyed in the atmosphere on entering. The material in which the satellite are made make them more easy to burn while entering to the atmosphere. So it makes them easier to be destroyed while entering the atmosphere. That became quite easy. Okay. Then come to the question. So in recent year, India-Australia relationship has charted a new trajectory, and the countries cooperate closely in the wide range of sector analyzed. This is a question regarding Indian foreign policy regarding India-Australia relation. Okay. So India and Australia have several commonalities. Okay, which serve as a foundation for closer cooperation and multifaceted interaction. Both are strong, vibrant, secular, and multicultural democracy. The relationship has grown in strength and importance since India's economic reform in the 1991 and has. Okay, so the relationship has grown in strength and importance since India's economic reforms in 1991 and has made rapid strides in areas such as trade, energy and mining, science and technology, education and defense. India-Australia cooperate closely in a wide range of sectors. Political cooperation. India and Australia limited their relationship to the level of comprehensive strategic partnership in 2020. India and Australia cooperate in various multilateral fora. Australia supports India's candidature in an expanded UN Security Council. Both are members of the Commonwealth, G20, Quad, Trilateral Supply Chain Initiative, and the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Economic cooperation. The Economic Cooperation Trade Agreement is the first free trade agreement signed by India with a developed country, and that was Australia. Fine. So such agreement. the coming to the people, India is one of the top source of skill immigrant to Australia. As per the 2021 census, around 9.76 lakh people in Australia reported their ancestry as Indian origin, making them the second largest group of overseas born resident in Australia. That means so around 10 lakh Indians origin people are in Australia. Defense cooperation, the multi logistic support agreement was concluded during the virtual summit in 2020, and the two militaries held several joint exercises in 2022. Australia will host the military operation with India, Japan, and the US in the Malabar exercise of the coast of Perth, Australia, and has invited India to join the Talisman's subway exercise later this year. Trade and investment, India and Australia's ninth largest trading partner. Four products: coal, non-monetary gold, copper, ore, and concentrate and petroleum accounts for over 80% of India's import from Australia. And India's major export to Australia are pearl and gems, jewelry, medicaments, and passenger motor vehicles. So these are the respective import and export from and to Australia by India. The CET is likely to make import of coal and other minerals such as copper, nickel, aluminum, manganese, etc. available at competitive price, which could provide a much needed boost to India's energy sector. Education. The mechanism for mutual recognition of educational qualification was signed recently. This will facilitate mobility of students between India and Australia. The Deakin University and University of Ogden are planning to open campus in India, which will be the first foreign university to open um, their campus in India. Okay, more than 1 lakh Indian students are pursuing higher education degree in Australia universities, making Indian students the second largest cohort of foreign students in Australia. Clean energy. The country signed a letter of intent on new and renewable energy, which provides for cooperation towards bringing down the cost of renewable energy technology, especially ultra low cost solar and clean hydrogen. Science and technology. Formal cooperation in science and technology between Australia and India began in 1986 with the signing of an agreement by the two governments. In 2006, the two governments set up the Australia-India Strategic Research Fund. India and Australia share a greater convergence of views on issues such as value-free and society, rule of law, and shared commitment to a rule-based order in the Indo-Pacific region. Further, the recently signed India-Australia agreement has the potential to become a valuable tool in the hands of the Indian industry in realizing the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So that means in future both the sides are going to make the relationship more stronger, and this will strengthen their interaction more, and definitely the benefit will be with, much forthcoming to both the sides. When coming to the MCQs, so with reference to the Space Liability Convention 1972, it defines responsibility in case of space object causing harm. Okay, right. So the convention also provides for procedure for the settlement of claims for damages. That is also correct. The law does not talk against space junk crashing back to Earth. It is also correct. All the one, two, three are correct. Answer is B to question number one. Then consider the following pair on important mission on removing space debris by the various space agency across the world. Remove debris, European Space Agency. Debris elimination and re-entry, NASA. Space debris capture experiment, Japan. Cleanup mission, Russia. Okay, space debris removal. So here only from this only the only three pairs are correct. Okay, then the Kessler syndrome is about the space junk. Fine. Then consider the following statement with reference to the H3N2 virus. So H3N2 is a subtype of the influenza virus, that is correct. Presently, there is no drug recommended by the World Health Organization for treating illness caused by influenza A. This is incorrect. So only two will be as per the question, because which is incorrect. So two is incorrect because there is drug for this. Drug has been available and made available by WHO for this. So two is incorrect. Okay. Then coming to 5, with reference to landslide atlas of India, consider the following. The database includes three types of landslides inventory: seasonal, event-based, and route-wise for 1990 to 2022. So here that is correct. Okay. Then this atlas provides the detail of landslides present in landslide province of India, but it does not include damage assessment of landslides location. That is correct. Globally, landslides rank 2 in terms of death among natural disasters after earthquake. This is not correct. So 3 is incorrect. So answer will be D. Then the number of districts within the maximum landslide exposure are in which of the following state? So it is in Arunachal Pradesh. So as per the report, Arunachal Pradesh is at the top. Okay. Which of the following state assembly recently passed resolution against the BBC for airing a documentary on the 2002 communal right? It was by Gujarat. So Gujarat has declared such an move. Right? Okay. The State Assembly recently passed a resolution against the BBC for airing a documentary on the 2002 communal Gujarat communal right, the Gujarat right. BBC produced a documentary for which it was very much sharply reacted by government of Gujarat as well as the central government. Okay. Because the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, the present Prime Minister of India. Recently, the Madhav National Park is in news in context of the re-established tiger population. It is situated, so it is in Madhya Pradesh. Fine. With reference to PM Vishwakarma Kaushal Samman Yojana, consider the following. The main objective of the scheme is to improve skill for traditional and age-old crafts. The entire program is to be integrated with the MSME sector. The scheme also includes financial support. So 9, 1, 2, 3, all the three are correct. And coming to lean scheme, recently seen in news associated with the following. It is with the MSME sector. Fine. So this way, today's discussion over. Keep watching every day to update yourself on the latest developments, and also we'll discuss as regularly discussing questions as well as the MCQs. Thank you for watching.